Hi everyone, and welcome to the Book Refuge. And today we have a very special vote on my haul. So a couple things I want to share. If you're new to my channel, I do these videos once a month where I ask you, my wonderful viewers, to pick a book that we will read together. Last month's book, nobody wanted to read with me, which I understand because it is a pretty emotional one. You guys ended up picking Us Against You. I have a Discord chat. It's always linked down below where we can talk about things. You can give me book recommendation suggestions or things you want me to do. And once a month, we usually read a book together. This month, I have two things I want you to help me with. So one is going to be our normal pick the book that we buddy read together. And the next is I want you guys to help me pick another kind of book, which I'll get to in just a minute. But there'll actually be two polls up here waiting for you. You can go ahead and vote right now. If you don't want to sit through it, that's totally fine. But let me explain. So for this one, the way that I do these, by the way, is I go to a haul from the year before. I used to make tons of haul videos. Now I do more like once a month because I've slowed down my buying habits a little bit, trying to be better. But this one was also really hard because there was, I think, 12 books on this list of books that I hadn't read yet, but a lot of them were romance. And so I only put one of those romances on here and I went with the others, not because we can't buddy read romance together, but I just find that some of the other ones people want to read together more. If you want us to be reading romance together, let me know. But only one of these is a romance, and the rest are mostly they were new releases at the time, and then one of them is an older one that I've been wanting to read. But we'll go through these kind of quickly. You can already see what they are if you looked, but let's go over what was in my haul a year ago. So the first one I have for you to pick from is The Last Voyage of Poe Blythe by Ali Condi. This book I picked up because back in the day, I read the Match series by her, and I also read Atlantia. Neither of these books were super high scoring for me. I read these pre-Booktube, these books, but I really like her style and they were very readable and I enjoyed it. This book by Ali Condi, I was interested in, obviously, and it has to do with a girl named Poe Blythe, and she's 17-year-old and she's a captain of a ship. And she's trying to get revenge on the people who had killed her family 2 years ago. And so that's what it's about. It's a revenge story on the high seas. And it looks really beautiful. And I was pretty interested in it. So let me know if this is one you've heard about or would be interested in buddy reading together. Then I have one which I really want to get to. And that is Sherwood by Megan Spooner. I believe we buddy read... Did we buddy read Hunted together, or did I read that on my own? I can't remember, guys. But Megan Spooner, I really like her kind of fairy tale retelling, or at least I really liked Hunted. I thought it had a really unique way of retelling the story. This one is about Maid Marian, and Robin of Locksley has died. And so they are being persecuted by the Sheriff of Nottingham and Guy of Gisborne, and the people need a protector now that Robin is dead. And so, yeah, it seems really fun. I like Robin Hood retellings. I've read quite a few. I'm really female Robin Hoods. This looks fun. I loved the cover of this too, by the way. Her books are beautiful. And so, yeah, this one would be really fun to read together. I think it would be a pretty quick read. I mean, it has a lot of pages, but it's not overly full. And I remember Hunted went by pretty quickly for me too. So let me know if you want to read this one. Then I have the romance that I was talking about, and I thought I'd put this one up because I've been wanting to read this one for a long time. And I know this one is an enemies to lovers, forbidden romance, whatever. And I really like the author. I think I would really like her. This book is Hate to Want You by Alicia Rye, and this is the first book in the Forbidden Heart series. I have seen this suggested on The Naughty Librarian and Peace Love Books, and lots of other romance booktubers have read this book, and out of all the romances that were on my list, I thought this could be the most fun one to read. And will let me know if you guys are, interested in doing romance reads together, because the reason that I don't usually put these as buddy read options is because I read them so fast. And then I feel like you don't pick them apart as much the way you do with some other books, but I could be wrong, and I would love to read this with you guys. I will read it someday, even if it doesn't get picked for this. So let me know if you want to do Hate to Want You. I should tell you what it's about. How about that? So this one is about Livy and Nicholas, and once a year they meet up and hook up. But they're from two families that hate each other. And so they do this every year for a certain number of years, and then one time Livy doesn't show up. And so Nicholas doesn't have time to look for her. He doesn't have time to worry about her. But he is still like, loves her, you know, or has that chemistry with her, and doesn't know what to do now that he can't have that night anymore. And I don't know where the story will go. I don't like to know too much about romances going in because, you know, whatever. But yeah, I've heard great things about this one. Next, I have The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I had bought this beautiful, like, re-release edition of hers. It has this really, like, creepy witch on the front. And I know this one was somehow a mix between maybe, like, The Pied Piper and it's a witch retelling. But this one has to do with, like, there's, like, these children that go missing. And then there's a girl who wants to know about the witch who might be taking them, and it says that it's part fairy tale, part love story. I have heard that this was maybe a little boring, but I don't know. It has like my edition has like a special story in the back, like this is how long the story actually is, and I don't know, it looks cool. I have had like a mixed feelings with what's her face? V.E. Schwab. I really like the Vicious series, but I haven't been able to get into any of her other books. They haven't really spoke to me. So I don't know, but I thought this could be a good option for us. So let me know. And then finally, this is one that I grabbed. Obviously it was a year ago that I bought it. But it seems like it could be really fun. So this is Frostbite by David Wellington. And it's a werewolf tale, as it says. And so this one is about Cheyenne Clark, and she gets bitten and starts turning into a werewolf. And yeah, that's like really all it says back here. But it seems like really short. And I know this is the start of a series, and he writes pretty like dark books that are about like monsters and werewolves and vampires. And you know what? For me, the werewolf and vampire craze like never really goes down. Like I'm always willing to read one of those. So if that's something you guys might be into, let me know. Hit me up. Pick this one. Okay, so those are the 5 books that you can pick from in the first poll that's up there about what book you want to buddy read with me or want me to read. Like you don't have to be a part of the buddy read. Please still vote, even if you don't want to read it with me. I think there was some confusion the last couple times because I haven't been having as many people vote as I did when I had less subscribers than I do now. But just to be clear, you didn't there's no obligation for you to buddy read this with us. It's just you're picking what we read. So go ahead and do that. So for this next poll, which you may have seen up there or not, I always pick up historical romances. A lot of you found me because of historical romance videos I've made. I plan to keep making those. However, I've been falling behind on how many historical romances I've read because I've really been into contemporary romance and erotica and things like that. And I haven't read a lot of my historical romances, but I've still been buying them. So as you've seen maybe from my historical romance tour, which you can look that up on my historical romance playlist, which I recently created. And I want something to incentivize me to read them because I always love it as soon as I start them, but I don't always get into them. So what I have is I have 5 books I'm about to show you that are all the first in a series. And I actually own most of the whole series of these, but I don't know where to start. So what I would like you guys to do is to pick which series I start in April, okay? So I'm going to show you these, and then you tell me where I should start. I probably won't say too much about them because I don't like to know too much about them, but let's do this. So the first one I have here is I have the first book in the Bare Knuckle Bastard series, and that's Wicked and the Wallflower. This is by Sarah MacLean. I've been wanting to read a Sarah MacLean for so long because I started listening to her podcast, The Fated Mates, and I just love listening to her talk, and I've heard great things about this series. And so this one is about Lady Felicity, and there's a mysterious stranger who finds his way into her bedchamber and offers his help to get her a husband. And so she decides to help, she decides to let him help. And there you go. Seems weird. So there's someone wicked and there's a wallflower. And look at the dresses. I mostly love her books because she has big, bold, beautiful dresses on them. And I'm excited. So that's the first in that series. Then I have the Lady Be Bad by Megan Frampton, and this is the first book in the A Duke's Daughter series. So this one says, once upon a time, a duke had 5 daughters who never made a stir. They practiced their French, their pianoforte, and their dancing until one ran off with a dancing instructor and the rest were left to face the scandal. So that's cool. So Lady Eleanor is the eldest daughter, and she has to marry to restore the family, and then she meets Alexander Rayborn, and they want to do bad things together. But she probably won't want to do that since one of her sisters caused problems. See? There we go. So this is the first in that series. So let me know if I should read this one. Then a series that has needed to be started for ages, my loves. This is the first in the Wallflower series by Lisa Kleypas. This is Secrets of a Summer Night. And I even have a bookmark in this one already because I meant to start it before, but it hasn't happened. So please tell me if you want me to start with this series. I have a feeling this one could be a really good winner. What's it about? So this one is about 4 young ladies enter London society with one common goal. They must use their feminine wit and wiles to find a husband. So a daring husband hunting scheme is born. So this one has Annabelle Payton and Simon Hunt. And she's going to try to seduce him. So, fun. Then we have, and this series looks really fun because I literally bought them for the titles and what they were about. This is Falling into Bed with a Duke. And this is the first of, I can't remember what the series is called. I just read it, but I don't know. But this one is, The Hellions of Havisham. It says it on the back. So after 6 unsuccessful seasons, Miss Minerva Dodger chooses spinsterhood over fortune-hunting suitors. But thanks to the Nightingale Club, she can at least enjoy one night of pleasure. At the notorious establishment, ladies don masks before choosing a lover. And she chooses the sinfully handsome Duke of Ashbury, and he is more than willing to satisfy her secret desires. And she's drawn into an exquisite and increasingly intimate affair. So I really love all the names of the books in this series, and this is the first one. I think this is, another one is Falling into Bed with the Duke, and then, that's this one, The Duke and the Lady in Red, The Earl Takes All. The Earl Takes All, I'm really excited to read that one, looks good. So let me know if you want me to start there. And then the last option is The Art of Sinning by Sabrina Jeffries, and this is the first in the Sinful Suitor series. So this one says, at St. George's Club, watchful guardians conspire to keep their unattached sisters and wards out of the clutches of sinful suitors, which works fine, except when the passionate rogues are members themselves. So this one is about an American artist named Jeremy, and he doesn't want to go back to America, and then he meets Lady Yvette Barlow at a wedding, and he realizes that she is perfect person for him to paint. And Yvette agrees to be a subject in exchange that he helps her get into brothels that he knows so that she can track a missing woman. Ooh. So all of these authors except for Lisa Kleypas are new to me. Obviously, I know who they are and I've heard a lot about them. And I really want to start one of these 5 series. So please tell me, have you read any of them? Which ones are your favorite? Where should I start? So please now go ahead and vote in that poll up above. And again, like if you want to read this at the same time as me, feel free, but these ones won't be an official buddy read in my Discord. But thank you so much. I always appreciate the help. I love doing these vote on my haul videos. I love when you guys are putting in your input to me. So thank you so much. So please make sure you vote. I'll see you in the Discord if you want to buddy read one of these with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.